Right, so this should really just be a review because 6th grade, everybody did literary essay. 6th grade, everybody did persuasive essay. 7th grade, we did literary essay. So no matter what type of essay you're writing, you're using the same components, all right? So as I'm going over this, look at your paper. So the first thing is each body paragraph has to have a topic sentence. And basically, your topic sentence, like I said before, is your reason. So if you look right here, it says, first of all, an overabundance of screen time leads to poor health in children. So this is my topic sentence, which is my reason number 1. All right? Then as I go down, actually, I think I only have one paragraph here, right? Then when you go from one piece of evidence to another piece of evidence, or from one topic sentence to another topic sentence, like one reason to another, you have to use transitions. So if you look right here, I used first of all, right? So there are other options, right? So you should have a list of transitional words I gave you. So look in your folder right now. Do you have that list of transitional words? So now that we are in 7th grade, right, we don't want to be using words like first, secondly, thirdly, all right? You want to, if you're opting to use transitional words, you're going to use more sophisticated transitional words. So you have equally important, furthermore, in addition, in the first place, along with, additionally, moreover, all right? So those would be ones, and you can also use these other ones to add examples. For instance, to illustrate, such as. So when you write your draft, this is what should be out in front of you. Okay, because you don't remember all the transitions. If you don't have this out in front of you, you're going to go back to using the ones that you do know. First, second, third. We should not have that. All right? So the second option is this, and I'm going to pull groups for this, is you don't have to use transitional words. You can use something that's called transitional sentences, right? So it's almost like an introduction to each body paragraph that lets the reader know about your next topic. So, but you can't do that unless you're proficient at using transitions, all right? But I do want you to understand that there are other ways to transition from one idea to another without transitional words. So I'm definitely going to be pulling some of you for a small group on how to do that. So the second thing, so if you look up here, I have first of all is my transition. But then as you go on, so let's see. So within your body paragraphs, right, when you're going from one piece of evidence to another. So if you look right here, where am I at? Okay, so right here. So first I was talking about, so it says, first of all, an overabundance of screen time leads to poor health in children. Obesity is just one of these health issues. So first I'm talking about obesity. Then I give all my evidence, right? But then I'm adding more evidence about the obesity issue, so I'm using a transition additionally, right? So then, after that, I talk about digital eye strain. So I'm using a transition. Besides causing obesity, too much screen time can result in digital eye strain. Then I talk about posture, right? So I use another transition. Equally important are posture issues. So when you go from one piece of evidence to another, you have to use some kind of transition to let the reader know, like, hey, I'm done with this example, and I'm going to give you another example. And you have to get those transitions off of that transitional paper. Question? Just wait till I'm done. Okay, so the second thing is explain your evidence thoroughly. Make sure you have plenty of evidence to support your topic sentence. So if you look right here, like this is evidence right here. All right, then down here, I explain all of my evidence. So you have to make sure that you have plenty of evidence. So I'm going to say in each body paragraph, you should have about 3 to 4 pieces of evidence. Got it? So the next thing is, besides, and you have to make sure you have a variety of types of evidence. Statistics, examples, anecdotes, quotes from professionals. Then the other thing is you have to make sure that each body paragraph has a clincher, or what you call like a closing sentence, or I should be up there, or on your paper. So if you look right here at the very end, it says, it is quite obvious due to this amount of screen time, children's health is suffering. Do you really want to be the cause of this distress? So clincher like lets the reader know like, hey, I'm done talking about this reason. Now I'm going to go on to my next reason. So what do you call this right here? Do you really want to be the cause of this distress? That's called what? Which you totally should be using. But what kind of question? Yes. What's that? No. I didn't tell you this yesterday. Yeah, we went over this. Rhetorical question. So rhetorical question is a type of question that you don't expect the reader to like answer you. It just, the whole purpose of the question is to get the reader to think, right? So you definitely, without a doubt, want to use rhetorical questions in your essay, but you don't want to like overkill it. You don't want to use too many, right? So if I used a rhetorical question at the end of this body paragraph, I would not want to use that same technique for the other paragraphs. Question. 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 No, I'm in the middle of a lesson. Okay. Then the last thing I want to go over real quick is what we call in-text citations. This is like really important, all right? So anytime after you paraphrase or you're quoting a professional, you have to put down the source that you got it from, right? And you guys did this with literary essay, right? You put down the page numbers. So it works a little differently with this because you're using multiple sources. So what you have to do is this. Some of your articles have the authors who wrote them. Some of you don't really have the authors, but rather they have like a company that it came from or an organization. So what you would do is this. So I should be up here. So here is my little statistic, my little fact I got that I paraphrased from this article. And the article it didn't have an author, it was just an organization called the Mayo Clinic. So what you do is you do parentheses, the name of the organization, parentheses, and then period. Then if you look down here, I paraphrased this whole part right here. And I got it from an article where the guy's last name was Paula. So you would just put parentheses, the guy's last name or the woman's last name, parentheses, and then a period. So you have to cite your sources. So number one, you have to paraphrase. And I believe next week you're actually getting a lesson in your social studies classes on plagiarizing and like accidental plagiarizing. So you're going to hear it again next week, all right? So you have to make sure that if you look down here, I paraphrased again. And I got this from the same author. This guy's last name was Paula. All right, so this is what you call in-text citation, right? So when you go to high school in 8th grade, you are going to get in big trouble if you do not do this, right? And it's what you call, there's 2 ways to do it. This one is called, just so you know, it's called MLA style. So when you go to 8th grade, you can tell your teachers that Mrs. Turner taught you this. All right, so what you're going to do today is this. You have a couple things, all right? So the first thing you're going to do is you are going to finish putting your reasons into categories. So we did that last week, right? We started that. We didn't finish that. And I think I still have up there, don't I have some of the categories written up there underneath the vocab words? Right? Then you're going to create 3 strong reasons, and then you're going to see me for approval of your reasons. Then you're going to work on the supporting reasons with evidence graphic organizer. So this is right here. So what you would do is this. I have this on paper or you can do it digitally. If you do it digitally, it's under one of the, I think it's lesson 4 folder. So what you would do here, you're going to put your first reason and you're going to put your evidence. You have to make sure that your evidence is thoroughly explained in these body paragraphs. In these boxes. So you want to have at least 3 to 4 pieces of evidence. So when you're done with reason 1, then you're just going to have to make a copy of this. Actually, here, I'll make a copy for you. All right. So then you would do your reason number 2, right? On the next organizer, and then you would do reason number 3, all right? So once again, so first you are going to finish putting your reasons into categories, create 3 strong reasons, see me for approval, and then start working on the supporting reasons graphic organizer. The better job you do of that graphic organizer, the easier it's going to be to write your essay, all right? So what questions do you have? All right, so get started.